it is. That's what it is. All right. Shalom, 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 shalom. Happy Shabbat to each one of you. All right, this is Moreh Yaakov in another ITFTR network. We're going into part 7. We're in part 7. Just give me 1 second. Let me get this right here. Testing 1 2 1 2. Okay, yeah, we got this one right here ready. All right, let me go ahead on this right here. Just give me 1 second. Okay, everything is just all mixed up. All right, we got it. All right, give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. All right. I'm back. Excuse me. Okay, all right. I'm back. We started 2 hours late because we had a power outage in the area. But we're going to go ahead on and move forward anyhow. So happy shalom. Happy Shabbat to each one of you. Shalom. Happy Shabbat to you. This is the hour of the Shabbat. So before I go further, let me go ahead and blow my shofar. All praises to each one of you. So we thank the Creator for everything that He has done for thus far. The Creator could have had abandoned us, but we thank the Creator that He has not. We thank the Creator that He could have destroyed us, but we thank the Creator that He did not. We thank the Creator that He could have not loved us, but we thank the Creator that He did not. We thank the Creator that He could have not showed us any mercy, but we thank the Creator that He did not. All these things that the Creator could have done, He didn't. He showed us love, mercy, for kindness, forgiveness. Even though He turned His back, He moved His face from us, but He never stopped loving us. So we thank the Creator for each and every blessing that the Creator has given us. We thank the Creator for food, shelter, clothes, and the things that maintain us in this captivity of oppression. So without the love and without the kindness and without the forgiveness, we would be nothing without the Creator. So we're going to give Him praise. We're going to give Him honor. We're going to give Him the glory. Only He and He alone. Because without Him, we will have all these other gods that we're praising. So we get to create a praise, the honor, the respect that is due to the Creator and the Creator alone. So all praises. We thank the Creator, and let us move forward to part 7. All Israelites are not Israelites. You know, it's a thing that when you realize that the Creator has warned us, has told us, and expect us to do, we thank the Creator for that. So now we can make a distinction between what is and what ain't. So we thank the Creator for you as well for joining us tonight in part 7. You know, on last Shabbat we talked about, we left with the Chicago residents talking to the Democrat Party for not giving or taking resources from us. Shalom, shalom, Sister Latanya G. Good to see you once again. Good to see you once again. All praise to the Creator. And when we put our trust inside of man and a system that was not honored or subscribed by the Creator or prescribed by the Creator, we make what is called a mess. And that's what was happening on last Shabbat when I was showing that the Chicago residents was complaining. Okay? They was complaining about that these people were taking their tax dollars. We're going to get into a little bit of this tonight. And in fact, they were taking the tax dollars from the residents. They are taking the tax dollars from the residents. Because where do the tax dollars come from? It comes from you. We're going to talk about a little bit of this tonight. See, they was building everything off the backs of you. That's what they have done. They need you to continue being a slave. They need you to continue being ignorant under the sign of oppression. They need you to not understand how they work. And this is the problem that most of us have when the Bible says in Deuteronomy 28:49 that a nation will come from afar whose language or whose tongue you do not understand. And the reason why we don't understand the language is not saying we don't understand the dialect, because dialect and language is different. We don't understand the system that they had imposed on us. And who imposed this system on us? Japheth. Genesis 9:27. And Japheth shall enlarge himself in the tents of Shem. See, he's going to enlarge, meaning he's going to move you from out of your space. And he's going to move himself into your space. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. And once when they move you from out of your space, they're going to want you to be ignorant of your space so they can continue to keep enlarging themselves in your space. And sooner or later, when they move you from out of your space, the rim that you're supposed to be in, they're going to eventually call themselves you. Webster Dictionary 1828. They now call themselves you. They took your title. They took your crown. Because you chose to give it up. See, these people, if you did your due diligence, these people never hid anything from you. They just put it in areas that they know you're not going to be able to see or to be able to look. You're not going to want to look. And that's the reason why they are now continuing to rule you. It's because they have placed you under a vibration of a spell that many of us don't want to acknowledge. That's what we're under. So these folks in Chicago is complaining about what was taking place. And you know what? You know what makes it so bad? I don't feel sorry for him. And the reason why I don't feel sorry for the people in Chicago that was complaining is because who did you vote for? Who did you vote for? Did you vote for a party that you knew that was always against you? Did you vote for a man that you knew that destroyed your community, put most of your people in prison? Now his son got the same issue: gun, drugs, crack cocaine, fentanyl. He said out of his mouth, it didn't matter if you got an ounce of crack cocaine. You go to jail for 5 years, mandatory. No, it don't have nothing to do with the judges. But now look at what his lawyers are doing for his son. They trying to find every discrepancy to keep his son from out of jail. But he didn't find every discrepancy to keeping your child or people that look like you from out of jail. So let's get into this first video, and let's talk about the people in Chicago, because it's one thing. It's one thing when you don't understand when you don't understand the real issue that these folks always was against you. They were always against you. But see, the problem is we hoping that things change just so that we can continue to stay a part of and continue to assimilate ourselves with foreigners. We love the system. And this is Black Conscious, Real Black Conscious Forum. His brother has some very good talking points. Y'all can go check his channel out. And go check the brother out. The brother be speaking some real information. Okay? And I promise you, if you and your feelings don't, I'm gonna tell you, the brother gonna bring it so much on the plate that I promise you, you ain't gonna want to hear it if you about not that truth. Okay. So fair use under the 1976 Act, Copyright Act. Everything is for teaching purposes, building purposes, educational purposes, and etc. And this is not my material. I don't claim no rights to this material. So, family, let's get into it real quick. Let's go.
And now your host, Big VJ.
Welcome back to the podcast. Beloved, this is indeed your brother, Big VJ, checking in. Today's conversation is going to be for adults only, right? I know. We're just going to have a conversation in which we talk politics. We're going to read an article from Fox 32.
I hope y'all see this topic on this news article. Illinois provides $9,000 in rental assistance to migrants seeking temporary housing. How many of you all get $9,000 for rental assistance? Let's check that out. Let's go.
The headline says Illinois provides 9,000. Jeez, man. 9,000 in rental assistance to migrants seeking temporary housing. But, you know, it's a good chance, beloved, we're going to use some colorful language, right? So I'm just want to provide the opportunity for those that are the faint of heart to leave now, right? Because, again, it is a great chance that the language is going to be a little colorful on the podcast, right? So I'm giving you guys the chance to leave now. You know, on this platform, we use the word nigga from time to time. And being that nigga plays well with the algorithm because it's accepted, right? We also see that the word nigga is used in sales, in marketing, in products in America, right? So you can go to Amazon and you can type in the word nigga and products will come up. You know what I mean? So being that nigga is accepted, we use our freedom of speech to use more colorful language, right? So, you know, we're familiar with freedom of speech. It come with a cost. So the cost for us have been we just lose channel over channel over channel, or channel after channel after channel, I should say. Right? It's kind of like a little thing for us. We go to like 10,000 subscribers, and then boom, we get the axe, and then we build the channel back up, and then we get the axe again, right? Because if nigga is okay to say, then when we say crankies, we don't say Scottish, we say crankies. That's got to be cool too. We say Polacks, we don't say Polish. We say wops over here. We say guineas. We don't say Italians. We say sand niggas, beloved. We don't say Arabs and Semitics that much. Sand niggas work just fine. You know what I'm saying? Knuckle draggers, crackers, devils. When we talking about the North American white man, it just worked just fine for us. We don't say Jews over here. We say small hats. You know, there's the guys that walk around with the hook nose and small hats and the Heimies, right? We use colorful language over here, beloved. So we know that's not for everybody. And it's okay. There's 2 million channels on YouTube. So we respectfully said you can take your ass somewhere else and listen to whatever the fuck you want to listen to on those 2 million channels. But we talk the way we talk over here, right? We're going to read this Fox 32 article. But before we do so, we want to make sure we take our time, talk politics, and we want to do a roll call, right? We want to take attendance because we can vividly remember during election time, it was a handful of Chicago niggas that was standing in front of us telling us to vote, vote, vote Democrat. And on this platform, we said, don't vote Democrat. But maybe this is not the best time to say, we told you niggas so. Maybe it's not the best time right now. I don't know. We're a little meek. We're humble. You know, so maybe not right now. We're not going to.
But we told you so.
But we will say, where the fuck is Jesse Smollett? Where's Jesse? If anybody's seen Jesse Smollett, if there was ever, beloved, there was ever a good time for a nigga to throw a scandal about some foreigners or some migrants doing something to bring national news to something, it'd be a good time right now. Because anytime the headline is reading Illinois provides 9,000 in rental assistance, and we know niggas on the street, and they're gonna do it for migrants. They never fought in no wars. They ain't got no plantation store. They come on now. They ain't never marched for nothing. Black folks in this country had to fight for everything they got. To sit at the lunch counter, they had to fight for it. To get a driver's license, they had to fight for it. We had to fight to get in the military, 2 fights, right? You had to fight to vote. You had to fight to get everything. And they're going to roll the red carpet and the purple carpet and the royal blue carpet out for migrants on your dime. And you ain't tore up Chicago yet. And we seen them crackers go down to DC, right? Behind this Trump thing. You know what I'm saying? And they tore up a country for less. In the state of Michigan, where I'm from, We seen them crackers go up there to the state's capital up in Lansing, right? Big Red wasn't there. And they tore up some shit because the governor said during COVID she was trying to slow the businesses down and they were trying to figure this whole thing out. And those knuckle draggers ain't want you to figure nothing out. They went up there to tear up some shit up there at the Capitol, state Capitol, for less. And now these folks just spent $150 million plus of your money, because it's your money. You're the citizens. It's your money. You're the citizens of Chicago, for some migrants, and they paying rent and all this old kind of shit, and ain't nobody not that I'm saying you should tear some shit up. I'm just like, damn, you tear up everything else. You think they'd have told some shit up? No. But this is like, but we kind of told you niggas so. I don't want to make this a whole we told you so conversation, but I'm like, this is real nigga roll call at this point. Where's that beige nigga at? Where's Common at? Common was toting these motherfucking Democrats in front of you. Him and goddamn John, I love white women legend.
But these are the people that but these are the people that they put in front of you. These are the actual people that they put in front of you. And you keep falling for these same non-people that is not you. But let's keep going. Let me back it up for a second. Let's go.
No. But this is like, but we kind of told you niggas so. I don't want to make this a whole we told you so conversation, but I'm like, this is real nigga roll call at this point. Where's that beige nigga at? Where's Common at? Common was toting these motherfucking Democrats in front of you. Him and goddamn John, I love white women legend. Where's them two niggas at? I haven't seen them two niggas talk about nothing since the whole thing been going on. But y'all let them get in front of y'all during election time and tell you who to vote for. Y'all let them do that. We ain't seen Jesse Jackson. He's an elder. We gonna pull him off the road. Where's Obama? Right? Where's your East African brother? Right? I mean, tell him to get off the top of that elephant. You got to talk to him. Tell Obama to come out those fields from hyenas. We need to talk to him, right? And when we need to talk to him, we're gonna talk to him over a plate of fried chicken and collard greens and cornbread and macaroni cheese. We don't want none of that you galley shit he be eating from goddamn Kenya. We don't want no Nyama. We don't want no cuckoo paka. We don't eat none of that shit over here. We're gonna have to tip the table over. Let's sit down over a plate of Leon's and figure out what's going on with these minors, because we ain't seen Mr. Yes You Can no goddamn way in this subject.
Call him Mr. Yes You Can.
Before we get into all that, I want to say this, right? Because I still want to give some time, man, for these sensitive ear motherfuckers that gonna get up out of here. Shout out to our brother, Dr. Kevin James. Why this is on my mind, right? Our brother just got HBCU President of the Year. We want to salute him, right? We appreciate you guys doing the hard work, working with our people. That is a very prestigious award, my brother. Dr. James, we're glad you got it. Also, I want to say, shout out. Look at the article now. And it says, we are learning more about the migrant situation in Chicago. Fox 32 spoke to Christina Zayas, the city's first deputy chief of staff, who provided insight into how the crisis is impacting the city and state financially. All right, let me stop and say this first. It is very difficult to talk to Black folks about politics because our people are trained to vote for who they like personality wise. People that they can see themselves having a beer with, they can smile, laugh, and joke with. But politics, the real definition of politics is it is the science of governing people. It has nothing to fucking do whether you like the person or not. Right? Case in point, we're finna talk about some Chicago shit. It has nothing to do with who you like. It has nothing to do with a motherfucker that look like you. Because Big Mama already told us all skin folks ain't kin folks.
That's right.
So You never forget that it's the politics that's the power. This is the power. It's in politics. This is where the money is at. The definition that you got to remember for politics, it is the science of governing people. You can't forget that. I want you to remember this too, right? Never forget this. No community in America, black folks, listen to me good. Now, this is your brother talking. No community in America that exists have put their money together and built their own community.
So I want let me say that right there. So when you hear people talking about let's put our money together and build a community, that ain't gonna never happen. It ain't gonna never happen. Let's see why. Let the brother gonna break it down. Let's go.
Everybody get funding. Did you hear me? There's not one single community that exists in the whole. I don't care if it's the Hymies, the Limeys, the Guineas, the Polacks, the Crankies, the Crackers. There's not one single community here. It does not exist. If you think there's some community they just put their own money together and just built it, that shit don't. America don't work that way. The city budget is your money. It's not, because the city is broke. The state is broke. The feds are broke. They get their money from the taxpayers. The city money is your money.
Tonight we're going to get into what is a taxpayer. Let's go. And a citizen. Let's go.
The biggest hustle that they play on y'all niggas is they don't tell you that the city money is your money. But you don't know because you don't care to know. You don't care to know. You niggas are too busy going to the club, stepping in the name of love. You're on your way to the cabaret. The city of Chicago got 410 liquor stores in the city limits. Why in the fuck y'all got 410 liquor stores?
410 liquor stores within the city limit. That's a lot of liquor stores. Let's go.
Why y'all niggas so obsessed with having a out of body experience? Why is there so many beauty supply stores there?
Beauty supplies. You know how much money the beauty supplies make off of our females a year? That is $1 billion industry. And our women buy the product but don't control the product. Foreigners control it. Let's go.
How come it's 48 mosques in the city limits and then it's 976 churches in the city limits of Chicago? I mean,
976 churches within the city limits of Chicago. Have you ever did the research in your community, in your city, to find out how many churches is within the city limit of your city? Because your money is being pulled into those churches as well. Let's keep going.
y'all niggas on your way to heaven? See, they know you don't know. They know that you don't know that the city budget is made of your money.
So when your community or your neighborhood is not being funded, it's because they already know you don't know that they are taking the money away and putting it in other places that they want it to be. They are thriving at. Because they know you're not going to challenge it because you don't believe that's your money. The mayor is just a steward over your money. But a lot of you stay away from politics. You don't even challenge these people at the things that they are doing in the city that you claim you live in. Let's go. Let's keep going.
Listen. How many niggas in Chicago know they city councilman? Because that's what we call the person over our districts. I don't know if I'm using the proper verbiage, right? But in the city of Detroit, like for instance, in my city, I'm from District 7, right? My councilman is Freddie D. III. You get what I'm saying? Now, When you go to the city council meetings, if you have a grievance or a concern, something you want to speak to the mayor about, depending on the magnitude of the question, a lot of stuff that could be handled, your councilman can handle. But you know what I learned about our people? When they talk politics, they train niggas to go federal. They can tell you about the Trump and Biden. They can tell you about the big boy election. When it comes to local, which really affects them, him and her, when you start talking to our people, say, hey man, who's your councilman? They don't know. Where's your councilman office at? They don't know.
Now think about what he just said. You don't know nothing because you know why? If I go to Deuteronomy, the 14th chapter, and I read the 15th verse, it teaches me that I don't supposed to be voting for, I think it's 17th chapter. Let me pull that up real quick. I don't supposed to be voting for anybody if it's not of my brother. And the first thing we say, my brother is somebody that look like me. No. You don't supposed to put somebody in charge over you unless they come from the grassroots of you. They have to be approved by you. They have to be approved by the creator in order to be your leader. And they have to surround themselves by the Israelite priesthood. Because the priesthood is what keeps that leader in charge, in line with Torah. But most of you just vote. And then you think of the federal election. But before you can even see something on a federal level affecting you, they affect you city-wise, town-wise, municipality-wise. That's where you really catch the brunt of your pain right there. And most of us, we'll just stay away from politics because this and this and this and this and that. Well, this whole thing will be destroyed. But in the process, you're supposed to still be challenging these people. And I'm gonna show you why. We're gonna get into it in a second. Let's go.
Sometimes when we say nigga, that's what that means. When we say nigga, it's like monster dummy. It's not bad that you don't know. You don't even want to know. You don't care to know. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, it's a nigga. Like, he's a monster dummy.
And he called you a monster dummy because most of you steady paying taxes. You in the system. You talking about, we don't have to, we not in the system. You in the system because if you got a house, you pay taxes. If you got children in school, you pay taxes. If you go buy stuff from a store, you pay taxes. If you going downtown or wherever they got a parking meter at and you park there, you paying taxes. Emergency, if the fire truck come to your house because your house is on fire, you paying taxes. When you pay lights, you paying taxes. Water taxes. Gas taxes. Everything within that city incorporation, if you are in a city or a county, you paying taxes to that particular business. And a lot of us, we are trying to ignore the politics, but we're not use the politics in our effort. Whoa, that's the devil system. But hold on, hold up. That don't mean just because it's a wicked system that I still should not allow my voice that's righteous to be heard, to let the enemy know you're taking my money illegally. Let's keep going. Let's go.
Like, he can't be helped. Like, oh, okay. Like, now when this kind of shit happens, the town halls they're packed. The city council meetings are packed now. But you voting for a party, like, you don't know, liberals, they stand for amnesty, right? Niggas don't even know what amnesty is. It's like, it's a party. I'm gonna let you go. You violated some shit, and I'm gonna let you go. And in this situation, See, the way that these migrants or these illegal aliens, or undocumented Americans, or whatever you want to call them, the way they come in and they get everything wiped away is because the party that's in charge, the Democrats, they support amnesty, which means that they can just wipe it away, say, okay, it's all good. In the church house, it's called grace. Maybe I need to talk because niggas love to go to the church house. This is what they getting grace. They coming into a city and they're not citizens, but the city's going to waive grace over them. So they're going to become citizens and not do what you had to do, and they're going to get what you got on day one because they're going to get grace.
And see, that's sad. They get grace, you don't get it. They break the law and still get grace waived over them. You break the law and you go to prison. And you don't see nothing wrong with that. Everybody come and get grace over you, but you still being at the bottom of somebody's shoe. Because you know why? You're voting, you're putting power, you're putting foreigners in power over you. And you're not raising up your leaders from the grassroots. Or if you raise up your leaders from the grassroots, you allow them to be raised by the foreigners. They be taught by the foreigners. They be led by the foreigners. And by the time they get up in leadership, they don't even know you. They know the foreigner more than they know you. If this is the problem, let's keep going.
But they're going to get the grace with your money.
Notice they get the grace with your money. They ain't got to do nothing. Just come over here and say they want amnesty, and they get your money. They get your Social Security. They get everything you work hard for. They get it for free. When it's time for you to retire from this wicked system, you have to jump through. You have to jump off the Niagara Fall and all that and be drowning before they can even tell you denied from Social Security. But a migrant just come over here and say, hey, I'm running for the amnesty. Well, what was the amnesty that you're running from? A dog tried to bite me. Oh, come on in. We're going to give you everything. And you look at him and say, well, he deserve a good life too. But you see your brother sitting right there on the streets homeless. And you don't say nothing about that. They just getting all the money that you putting in the system. And you don't see nothing wrong with that. Let's keep going.
Because they know you don't know how the city even raise money. Yo, check it out. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to throw some numbers out. I can only kind of speak for my city because I don't know what everybody's city is doing. And I'm just using my city as an example, right? Mayor D is over the city of Detroit. He's a devil, right? He's over the city. And if you kind of look at our budget, Detroiters contribute like almost the same thing, almost roughly like every year, right? So we're bringing about $825 million, give or take here and there. This is what the city contribute every year, right? Then you see that money, it goes along with hundreds of millions of dollars in federal grants. And then, of course, the mayor, he's the steward over the money. You dig what I'm saying? If you come through the city of Detroit, it's fucked up though. It's poverty. Shit is ruined. It look like I don't want to say third world country because that'd be a slap in the face to a third world country. It looked like a fifth world country almost, right? Because it's poverty everywhere. Now, I can trace back the poverty though to the budget because when you look at the budget, only 2% of Detroit's $1 billion budget is redistributed to the neighborhoods and the communities like the hood. It's only 2% come back. Now, there's a cracker that downtown. His name is John Roach. He's over like the media guy. If you talk to John and say, well, why the fuck is only 2% coming back to the hood? John would, because he's a devil. So he'd talk in circles and make you feel like 2% is a lot. Like he'd show you some pie charts and all this little shit. Oh, look, but niggas that know better, they know better. But they know the majority of us don't know better. So they can.
And that's why they tell you anything across the board. That's why they don't care nothing about what they tell you. They sit there and run that game on you because they know you don't know what you're looking for, what you're listening for. See, they run the game on you because they already know you ain't trying to figure it out because you're waiting on something from the sky. And they just steady ripping and robbing everything about you and from you because they know you don't care anyhow and you don't believe this is your land. Stay tuned in a minute. We're going to get into America. Let's go.
To the hood. John, because he's a devil. So he'd talk in circles and make you feel like 2% is a lot. Like he'd show you some pie charts and all this other shit. Oh, look, but niggas that know better, they know better. But they know the majority of us don't know better. So they can deal with a few kind of niggas that know, but then you just a few. They know the rest of you guys don't know. See, how it runs in my city, I can assure you, it's going to run like this everywhere because niggas don't know the budget. See, you don't even really know, like, how the local government even getting the money. But it's taxes. All they do is tax you. The property tax, the sales tax, then you got the transfers from the federal government to the state government, then you got the code enforcements, application fees for every fucking thing, bond assurance, utility fees. We just, listen, let me just say it this way. I'm gonna back up and say it this way. You know, think to yourself, when the city start towing shit, because I don't want to use a bunch of big words and shit. When the city start towing your car, you're getting parking tickets downtown, getting parking tickets in the neighborhood, niggas getting speeding tickets. You got to get permits for everything. Where do you think the money going? Where do you think it's going? Because there's a bunch of you niggas now. Where do you think all this money piling up to? I don't want to get real fancy. I just want to talk plain talk. The city got the bread. All right, when the city pile up all this money, you know what they do? Because the city, it runs like a business. They pay the bills for this year with the money they made last year, and then they make a budget for the next year. You dig what I'm saying? And then they get all the money from the locals, and then they get some grants from the federal government. They get a pile of money, and then they start picking out who, because this is contract shit gonna happen now. Who's going to get what to keep the city running, and then what's going to go to the neighborhoods. But you know what the hustle is? See, the neighborhoods don't know it's their money because you're not there. You're on your way to heaven, my nigga. I get it. You on your way to heaven. You finna step in the name of love. You finna go to the club, and then you love celebrity, so they put a musician in front of you. Well, they ain't got to work hard to put the musician in front of you because these niggas run in front of the camera. But they go get that beige nigga. They go get Common because I see him all the elections. They go get Common.
Beige,
and he
nigga.
talks like he's this nigga just got out of harvest some goddamn where. You know what I'm saying? They go get John. I love white women legend. And then if Jesse's not busy, they go get Jesse Smollett. If he ain't got a hustle going around, if there's ever was a time to put a rope around a nigga neck to get some attention about some shit, is now. But he ain't gonna put the rope around the neck for you. So what's gonna happen to that? Nothing. You just continue, don't know. I challenge anybody to learn their council member. I challenge anybody, especially a black person, to learn your city budget. I challenge anybody to learn this. Don't you know it's important to understand the square mileage of your city? I am from Detroit. The square mileage of the city is 142 square miles. That is very important to know the square miles of the city that you belong to. Do you tell you why? If you just know something as little as that, you can put together when they're trying to hustle you now. Now they get this big pool of money, and they come to you and say, you know what? You know, the mayor, he's standing in front of you. Oh, you know, we're gonna rebuild Midtown, downtown, blase, blase. We're gonna put so many millions into that. And you're like, yay, yay. And you're like, well, wait a minute, because you know square miles is. You're like, well, wait a minute. This fucking city of Detroit is 142 square miles.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I put the downtown, midtown, that shit ain't number 7 square miles. So what the fuck is going to happen to the rest of the 130 square miles if you're just going to put all the money in the 7 square miles, which is downtown, midtown? That's why they don't want you to know shit. Chicago is 231 square miles, beloved. Where's the money going?
Wow.
Where is the money going? That's to be your biggest. Where the fuck is the money going? So I say something real tricky on this podcast. I say, man, I'm not from Detroit. I am Detroit. You got to think like that, because when they start talking tax dollars, you have to. All right, I'm gonna show you an example. Let's go back to this paragraph. It says, this week, 41 buses have arrived in Chicago, bringing the total number of migrants to shelters to 11,000, with 4,000 still sleeping on police station floors and staying at airports. 41 buses arrived in Chicago. There's no such thing as Chicago. You're Chicago. You know what I'm saying? 41 buses are paid for by you.
Remember what I said last week? I am the land and the land is me. You got to do that about the brother's saying about the city. I am Chicago and Chicago is me. So now the money that they're getting is coming from you. They ain't coming from nobody else. It's coming from you. Just check the brother out. We about to get into America in a minute. We're going to hit this thing real hard because this ties into you being indigenous. Let's go.
Chicago don't have no money. Nigga, you're the money. So that's another way of saying Inglewood paid for 41 buses. The South Side paid for 41 buses. Brownsville, Hyde Park, is paid for 41 buses. When they start putting that in the paper, that's going to ring a bell with niggas like, well, wait a minute. What do you mean we pay? Yeah, nigga, it's your money. It's your money. They are 100 million deep. No, let me stop. They got to be like 150 million deep so far. $150 million deep. That Hyde Park paid, Southside paid, Inglewood paid, and the whole migrant hustle. Him and Jim Crow Joe Biden got some shit cooked up. It's your money. Now, how many Chicago brothers and sisters have lost loved ones, pardon me, I'm moving fast, to gunfire? How many? Gun violence, domestic violence, regular violence, I don't know, just violence, period. Any kind of way, accident, any fucking kind of way. You know, we read in the paper all over the country, this many black males is killed, this many black women is killed. $150 million could have paid for a lot of therapy, gang prevention, building up the community, conflict resolution skills. Man, it could have paid for a lot. 150 million could have put a lot of young folks to work. A lot of back to school programs, working this and that, blah, because the money was there. You never heard this many millions get cut so fast in Chicago until now. You know why? Because it's somebody else, it's not you, but the money it's always been there. It's always been there. So when
I think about these people be going around talking about reparations and what the government tell you, they got to study it, but they're not studying it when they give it to these migrants. Let's go.
Talk to my people. You got to know this. I'm like, yo, don't you fucking think them homies just built that community up there now? There's no community in America that exists that put their own money together. It doesn't happen. Don't you fucking think for 1 minute you drive into a nice neighborhood, oh, they just put their money together and just built it. Like, man, these fucking crackers ain't got no money. Crackers use credit. They don't have no money. I'll do you one better. Black people is the most liquid people in the country.
Why you think these foreigners building businesses around your community and draining your community? Because they come over here and the government tells them that you are the liquid of this country. You are the fabric. You're the ones that's holding everything up, not the foreigners, because the foreigners live off credit, just like the brother said. That's why when you see all this stuff going around, being built around you, that's through credit. That's not through banking finances. They are crediting that. Okay? That's another conversation for another day. Let's go.
Crackers use credit for everything, and then they run the tab up on credit and they file bankruptcy. They don't pay nothing back. They sit still for 6 or 7 years, and they start over with their credit from there after they put all the houses and cars and everything underneath the bankruptcy. Nobody paying for shit week by week and month by month and year by year but niggas. I don't know. Maybe the different day. Let's continue to read. Notably, 30% of migrants in Chicago are children, with the majority of them attending Chicago public schools. Of course they are. They jump right on the free lunch program. And they ain't worried about wearing $100 shoes to go to school to impress nobody. That's you. But they're going to use your tax dollars to read your new books, your tax dollars paying for their new computers. and they're going to do well in school. It would have been nice if Peanut and Nook Nook and Jook and Rico and them could have put them a little business together. And when the migrants start coming in, had them a little hustle to teach the migrants how to get their license and cut their hair, and probably rent out the back room or some RVs or some kind of made some money at the deal because everybody else for to make some money at the deal. Why not you? But when you just a renter yourself, when you're just an employee yourself, now it's a battle of resources, but not really because the cracker control all the resources. He's just gonna give it to them. None to you. Now they can jump right up. Just think, man. Just think. You know, black folks had to fight for every fucking thing in this country. Nothing was handed to our people. You know, we had to fight for the right to go to a retail store. Fight for the right to vote. Fight for the right to listen. We had to fight for the right to get in the war to fight, because we had to fight for the right to even get in the military. You had to fight for the right to even get to a public school. They just ain't let you in a public school. You had to fight for the right to that. You had to fight for the right to live in the neighborhood that you live in. And just look how your government do. With the strike of a pen and your money, they could just move somebody in on you with no fight. I think that's interesting, right? I think that's interesting. You know, Elijah Muhammad, peace be upon him, he's no longer here. You know, he said our people need straight talk. You can't talk in circles of our people, they don't get it. They need straight talk. 30% of the migrants in Chicago are children. The majority of them attending Chicago public schools, and they're going to eat up the free lunch that your tax dollars pay for. Congratulations. You voted Democrat, you played yourself. We talked about this 2-3 fucking years ago. And what did we say on this platform? We still got the archive. It's still there. It's not on YouTube. But we're on like 7 other podcast platforms, so we're there. If you want to go back and listen to it, you should. We read you the report that 17 million during Jim Crow Joe Biden's administration, that over 17 million illegal immigrants was coming in. And our biggest question was, where in the fuck do you think they're going to go? Beverly Hills? You think they're going to the Hamptons? You think they're going to Albany, New York? No, they're not going to Albany, New York. They're not going to Rochester, New York. They're going to New York City. You see what the governor, she came out and said? We're talking about Kathy Hochul, right? Kathy Hochul, the governor of that cracker out there in New York. You see what she said when she made a press release? She said they got 32,000 jobs for the migrants. It's like, damn, the niggas ain't burning that bitch down. niggas uncles and cousins and nieces and shit and graduated, been out of work for I don't know how long. And the governor say we got 32,000 jobs for the migrants. I was like, well, damn. Listen. If these devils are spending $9,000 to house folks in Chicago, I ain't trying to be funny, but we know in this country, Chicago ain't no primetime real estate. You know, we know it's not there because Chicago is a part of Illinois, and we know Illinois, you know, that niggas ain't running to Illinois to retire. They leaving Illinois to retire somewhere else. So the Midwest, even though I love the Midwest, this ain't where motherfuckers come when they retire. This is where motherfuckers leave from when they retire. So we know that primetime real estate in this country is California, Florida, and New York. If they spend, or they're spending up to $9,000 to house a family up to 6 months, how much you think they spend in New York? They'll never let you niggas know. But how much money you think they're spending in New York? And then she just came on and said, hey, we got 32,000 jobs. Don't you know Illinois got some jobs too? No, nigga, not you. They're going to push you out of the way. They're going to give them your job. Because we told you years ago they were going to give them your job. And you voted Democrat anyway. You voted for amnesty anyway. Why do you need amnesty? Nobody knows. But you voted for it. They're going to give them your job, and then they're going to give them your house because you're renters. The people in the suburbs own the communities in the city. You don't own them. You shoot, you bang, you fight over the motherfuckers. You represent it. You represent Stony, right? You, you know, I say Stony because that's where my aunties and uncles and cousins and shit from. You know, right there from the south side. My grandfather's from the south side, so I talk shit. You know, yeah. You represent Inglewood. You represent Old Block. Man, y'all don't own shit on that motherfucker. You be going in a minute, dog, because it's gonna be migrant block. The migrants gonna take over Old Block. But let's continue. Currently, the state is funding temporary housing, including rented apartments and homes for migrants. The state is providing up to $9,000 in rental assistance over a 6-month period, which includes assistance with moving in and a starter kit to furnish the apartment. And they gave you hell to go get that U-Haul. You had to have all kind of licenses and shit. Need folk coming in, can't even speak English, ain't got no license, ain't got nothing. They won't even let you in the car because you ain't got the right age, and you know, you ain't got no insurance for this and insurance for that, but they gonna let them come right in and do it. Man, it got to be sucked. It got to suck to be a second-class citizen. Why would you vote for this kind of shit? It was public record that Jim Crow Joe Biden, who been fucking our people for a long time, man. That nigga Biden had helped put together that crime bill and everything. He been fucking black folks for years, man.
And we still back him. Let's go.
You know, he lied about his whole record and but it's not, he's a devil. I mean, he's just doing what devils do. But you went for it. It's not hard to trick niggas because niggas, you know, the other guy's racist. Oh, he's racist. I just heard. Yeah, they hate. You went for that. You keep going for the same old shit. Niggas is slow. You know what I'm saying? I love my people, but it's like, this is monster dummy level now. This is a whole new level of mentally dead. I bet you know when your pastor's appreciation is. I bet you know when that is, right? You don't know your councilman. You don't know. You don't know what district you belong to. You don't know. You don't know the budget. You don't know. You don't. Well, I know what you do now. I know you know that pastor's appreciation is coming up, and I know you got your tithing together. I know you know that. Did Pastor Porkchop warn you? Did they warn you? Have anybody seen Black Lives Matter? Where's Black Lives Matter Chicago at when all this shit is going on? Because if there was ever a time black folks need something that matter, it's right now. It's when your government, your local government, and your state government is paying up to $9,000 for a motherfucker. They ain't never fought in the war for them. And you cool with that? God damn it, man. Up to $9,000. I said, damn, dog, this motherfucker tore up DC for less. I ain't trying to say I told you so. Just saying. Oh man, they tore up DC for less. I mean, goddamn, they had them motherfuckers underneath the benches at the state capitol for less. Where's Black Lives Matter when you need them? Where's Black Lives Matter when you need them? Let's continue. The rent lasts for 6 months, and ideally, people will have started their legal process, secured legal work authorization, and been able to sustain that apartment. And so the cost, or I guess the payment toward the landlord, is based on market rate. It's based on the configuration of the pyramid, how many rooms, where it's located, all those things. And so it varies from place to place, said Zayas. The number of asylum seekers currently utilize the rental assistance is unclear. Let's not. There's no fucking such thing as asylum seekers. Just that. I don't know what this asylum seekers is about. Because you look at the bulk of the folks that's coming, and they're all adults. It's a small remnant. Look, it's like in waves. The first wave did have a bunch of children with them, but the wave that's coming out, it's all adults. You look at that line in New York, you know, because that Texas governor is fucking everybody. As soon as they get there, they slap it right on the bus. And it's just big money moving all around. I mean, it's West Africans in the deal. It's South Americans in the deal. It's Central Americans in the deal. It's Mexicans in the deal, and they all just coming through all at the same time. And they got designated areas where they go in Chicago, New York, and I think one more spot down in Arizona, right? It's another spot in New Mexico though. But I don't say in my estimate that the spot in New Mexico really don't count because it's Mexico. I mean, it already, you know, that's how you know how smug crackers is, because they will fucking name a state New Mexico and don't let any Mexicans in. That's some smug shit. And then they turn it around now and they're going to let them in. You know, those folks, you got to give them credit. They think 25, 50, 75, 100 years down the line. You don't. You trying to get to the weekend, and this time of the year, your mind is on that turkey. Can't wait to get that goddamn turkey. And then after that, your mind is on Christmas, right? But for the next 5 weeks, all of your attention is on Black Friday and getting that turkey. You're not looking 15 years down the line. You're not looking 25 years down the line or 50 years down the line, because most of you niggas is on your way to heaven anyway. So you're thinking you won't even be here. But you won't be here. You won't be in Chicago. We lost Detroit. Don't you know we lost Detroit? We lost Harlem. Niggas got one foot in, one foot out. They ain't gonna do nothing but kick the other foot out. You go. They gave you Atlanta, but you finna lose Cincinnati too. You finna lose Milwaukee too. You finna lose Cleveland too. They finna do a big migration push to take all the niggas out the Midwest, East Coast, and the West Coast and put all of our people back in the South, where we were originally from. And you know what, beloved? I can't say that's a bad thing, but it's coming. To go by choice is one thing, because maybe I should have said it that way. To go anywhere by choice is one thing, but to go by force is something different. You know why they want to move you niggas to the South? The South don't have no political power. I don't know if you noticed that, but I can help you if you don't notice that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no swing states down south. The two powerful states in the South is Texas and Florida. The rest is in the East Coast, Midwest, and West Coast. They get you down in the South, you'll be out the fucking country in no time, then. There's no political power down south, especially when it comes to the federal government. None. I don't know. Maybe all that is a different story for a different day. Let's continue to read. The city has allocated $4 million to assist migrants in obtaining temporary housing. Let's read it again, because the city don't have any fucking money. So the way we should be reading that is the South Side has allocated $4 million. Hyde Park have allocated $4 million. Brownsville have allocated $4 million. West Englewood have allocated $4 million to assist migrants in obtaining temporary housing, with the state contributing an additional $38 million. Damn, the state found $38 million from where? Underneath the couch? Why come they couldn't find no millions for you in the city of Chicago for all this gang conflict that you got in the city? How come they can find it then? You know how much therapy you need up there for all these gunshot victims, gunshot violence, and all this shit? How come they ain't find a $38 million then for you? Because it's your money. How come they couldn't find your money to redistribute to you to help you? It's interesting, ain't it? But you vote for these folks. You say they got your best interest. They not racist. They love you, and look how this is how they do you. Boy, I know them polls gonna be real different this time, right? They told you Joe Biden got 70 million votes. From fucking who? Oh, it was mail-in. Yeah, okay. When that devil was on the campaign trail, he couldn't fucking fill a high school. He couldn't fucking fill a high school. Nobody came to see this motherfucker. He got 70 plus million votes. Let me guess, y'all gonna make sure he don't get it this time, huh? At present, 30 to 40 management workers from Catholic charities are actively working to secure temporary housing for thousands of migrants, with efforts underway to hire more. So at present, 30 to 40 case management workers from Catholic charities, which they gonna get a check from that. Isn't that interesting? Catholic charities, and they gonna get a check from that. Just remember though, when we read it earlier, now we took a look at what's going on in Chicago. We said, man, Chicago got 976 churches on the books, which we know is probably more. But what they're considering the church is if you have a physical address, telephone number, and email address, right? That's 976 in Chicago, because these niggas on the way to heaven. But the mom and pop churches that may not have an email address but got a number in the physical spot, they're not going to count them. So there's more. But you know what I would like to know? How many Black-owned and operated grocery stores are in the city of Chicago? I wonder.
Now that's an interesting question. How
What do
many
you think the number is for that?
grocery stores in the city of Chicago? That's mom and pops. Do our people own grocery stores? Let's go.
Black-owned and operated grocery stores. What's the number for that?
And we got a whole bunch of organizations that claim they believe in the creator and their people and ain't doing nothing to feed their people. Let's go.
Well, y'all sure love y'all some spiritual food, don't it? These niggas going up yonder. Going up yonder, huh? They going up yonder. Well, you finna get out of Chicago. Since you going up yonder, goddammit, you finna get out of Chicago. You finna get out of Detroit. You finna get out of Cleveland. They finna work a plan. Your ass finna go out the Midwest totally. Because, beloved, this is called gentrification. Out with the old.
In with the new.
In with the new. Even if it costs Illinois $9,000 in rental assistance per family. Damn, that's cold. That's cold, bro. I mean, I'm like, damn. I would have thrown some snowballs at the governor or something. I would have thrown. I just would have hit. I had to hit Brandon in the head with an egg or something. Like, I got this. It's so bad. You get so mad. These niggas don't even know where the city council office is at. They don't know who their councilman is. They don't know where the office is at. They don't know how to get in touch with. I bet you they know how to get in touch with them now. I bet you they know the name. I bet you they know what district they belong to now.
Wow.
I bet you they know all that now. Because our people are excellent at just being reactionary. Damn, can you do anything off a plan? Monster dummies. We told you, niggas. Hey, they showing the world this is the biggest slap in the face. Wait, where them steppers when you need them? I thought it was some big steppers in Chicago. Peace and black power to your family. Let me go. I ain't listen. I ain't inside nothing. I'm just. Hey, beloved, this is indeed your brother.
Here we go. We're gonna stop it right there. But this is what you got to pay attention to. A lot of us, the world, this thing is doing. A lot of us is not paying attention. All praise to Sister Joanne and Brother Trey for joining us. Shalom, shalom, happy Shabbat to each one of you. Okay. But this is what we have to pay attention to. We don't know enough of the politics that they done wrapped around us. Okay. So if they wrapped around politics around you, imagine what else they done wrapped around you that you ain't paying attention to. What did the brother say? Brother Trey says more Arabian businesses here in the U.S. than indigenous owned businesses, and that's true. They done took you out of the equation. They done took you out of the equation. Because the reason why they took you out of the equation is because you're not trying to get into the equation. You're not. You sitting back want to be assimilated with foreigners more than you actually trying to be your own government, be your own leader. So when you tries to be a part of their system, then they feed you what they want you to know. This is what they do. They feed you what they want you to know. They feed you what they feel like you supposed to have or what they like for you to have. That's the reason why anybody can tell me this book right here. It's called, I'm gonna put it in the chat. This boat right here. This the boat that landed in Virginia in Jamestown. It's called the White Lion. The White Lion. Okay. And the first thing we think about 1619 story, we say, well, that's when everything started. No. Slavery was already going on before 1619. Excuse me, before the 20 Negroes was captured on what that was docked in Virginia, Jamestown, from the White Lion. There was already slavery going on. But see, what they want you to believe is that they want you to think that, they want you to believe and think that that slavery, that the 400 years, and they'll tell you 1619 and you start from 2020 and all this and all that foolishness. Man, they were talking about the 400 years way back then. Way back then. But then they'll tell you, oh, well, see, that's when Judah came to America. That's what they'll tell you. That's what these folks will tell you. But how many of y'all know that they don't even have proof of that? They don't have proof of that. The White Lion. Okay? Can anybody tell me what was the difference? What is an indentured servant? Because they'll tell you, oh, see, the white people was indentured servants. But we were chattel slavery. That's what they'll tell you. We were chattel slavery. white people wasn't slaves like us. Okay, that's what they tell you. White folks wasn't slaves like us. See, that's the devil who telling you that white folks, you trying to get these people our history. We the slaves. Well, the word slave come from the word Slav, S-L-A-V. And those are the Slavic people that come from out of Russia, Ukraine. Those were your slaves. Okay? Those were your slaves. But we feel like we're the slaves. We were the slaves. You were never the slave. But we feel like we have to be the slave. No, see, the Bible says we became slaves because we disobeyed the Creator. But let me ask you a question. Were you born to be a slave? Were you born to be a slave? This is what I want to know. Were you born to be a slave? Sister Latanya say, now that's true. I called around looking for slave ships and I was told there wasn't any. They said they used them afterwards for other stuff. And she said she cried and she laughed when she heard that. Shalom, shalom, alive and well. So good for you to join in the platform. But this is what I'm talking about. See, the slave ships, they tell you, oh, we came through the transatlantic slave trade. But see, a lot of us, we don't get into. Okay, that's cool. If your Shabbat start at sunrise, all praises, brother. Shabbat shalom. Anyway, because Shabbat shalom, Shabbat comes in the evening to evening. All right, we ain't gonna get into that, and that ain't got nothing to do with this lesson here. All right, this if your Shabbat come in at that time, this ain't the channel for you, brother. Indenture service, they tell you, oh no, the Caucasian came in as indenture service. We were chattel slaves. But a lot of people don't even know the indentured service in colonial Virginia. A lot of people don't know even the colonial Virginia laws. They don't. They don't even know the colonial Virginia laws dealing with slavery. And that's why when they say, oh, no, see, the slavery started in 1619. But if you read the 1619 story, Isabella and Andrew, go read their story. Go read their story. And their story would tell you that they had a son. Okay? And their son was what? He ended up owning a whole bunch of land. See, they give you the 1619 story, but they don't give you they don't keep giving you the story when Isabella and I think his name was William. I can't remember the man name, but I know the female name was Isabella. They don't give you the story of their child. They don't. He ended up owning a whole bunch of land. So how did he end up coming from slavery to a landowner if that's where slavery for the Israelites started? Brother Trace say is it a form of labor when an individual is under contract to work without a salary to repay an indentured or loan within a certain time frame? Yes, that's what indentured servant is. They will they sign what is called a contract. They sign what is called a contract. And they have to repay that contract back. Let's look up indentured service in colonial Virginia. Let's check that out. Indentured service in colonial Virginia. Let's grab that real quick. Let me pull that up. Let's pull that up real quick. Let's pull this up right here real quick. Indentured service in colonial Virginia. Let me go right here. We go to the Encyclopedia of Virginia. This is where we're going at. Okay, it's coming through. All right, let me go back and let me share my screen. Yeah, brother, he said that sound like taxes. Well, it wasn't taxes, brother. It was just that you were under a contract, and no one forced you under that contract. Just like you signed that contract, and we're gonna get into that in a second. Just give me a minute, because we don't understand that there was slavery going on in Europe for a long time before that slavery hit the East Coast, which is the coast of America. We're going to talk about America. We're going to tie all this into America. We're going to show you who the American is tonight. Runaway enslaved people and indentured servants in colonial Virginia, because this is where they say slavery started over here in America, because remember we had the Virginia companies that King James had allowed. We talk about North America now. We're not talking about down in the Barbados and all that. We talk about North America. Okay. King James brought people here to Point Contest, Virginia, what we call Hampton, Virginia right now. Okay. So when you're talking about the 1619 story, you have to go into the enslaved laws. You can't just sit here and say, well, we were slaves and it started in 1619. No, they had laws on the book that they were actually under and following. That's why last week I gave you the proclamation line of 1763. They could not go past that. And that's even law today. The proclamation line of 1763 is even law today. But how did they get past that proclamation line when King James or King Charles of England gave that law? Even the propagation of the gospel, they were pushing over here. That is still law worldwide. And that's when you get Jesus say, go into the whole world and preach the gospel. That was the law from the 1452 Dum Diversa. They were pushing out Jesus Christ's system. Okay, but let's back up. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Runaway enslaved people and indentured service in colonial Virginia. Let's read something real quick. It says runaway enslaved people and indentured service were a persistent problem for enslaved and masters in colonial Virginia. They fled from abusive masters and enslavers to take a break from what? Work. Slavery was an employment. Okay? The slavery that they was telling us and how they taught us in school was a lie. Slavery was an employment. Okay? Let me tell you something about a contract, an indentured servant contract. An indentured servant contract was a contract that was between you and the what? Person who you was trying to go and work for. So literally what happened is these people will sign a contract. Okay? In order to what? Come over here. From England or Europe, from Europe or Eurasia to the Americas. And one way that they were signing the contract is teeth mark inside of the contract. And they would come over here and they would have to work for between what? 21 and 28 years. And let's say if a spouse died and they had like 5 years left on the husband or the wife contract, then if they had 14 years, 5 years left, that 5 years would be put on the husband or the wife. And let's say the wife died and she had like 7 years. That 7 years will be put on the children. That's how the contract worked. So when it says they fled from abusive, they fled from abusive masters and enslavers to take a break from work, or in search of family members from whom they had been what? Separated. See, they gave you their story. They gave you their story. Okay, this is what I've been trying to tell you. When you try to push yourself, like the brother say, we fought to get into their army to fight. We fought to get into their schools to learn. We fought to live in their neighborhoods. We fought to work in their businesses. But notice nobody fought to get yours. They just moving you out of the way. Because you don't understand how the government system works. And guess what? Most of you ain't trying to learn it. And you're steady paying money into the system by the way of taxes. And we're gonna touch taxes in a second. By the way of taxes. And we still don't get it. So these people wanted to take a break. It says, and they were trying to find their families. See, early court cases revealed that whites and blacks sometimes ran off together, but that punishment from the latter could be what? Much harsher. Why did it say white and blacks ran off together? So you think the so-called black man was you. You think the black man, so-called black man, was you because they say black, quote unquote. But remember what the brother said, what Big Mama said? All skin folks ain't kin folks. But we don't look at it like that, because as long as you got the same skin, then we can. See, they punished the so-called melanated man harder, according to this right here, than they punished the so-called pale man. Okay? As early as 1643, the General Assembly passed laws that established penalties for runaways. Hold on. He said when? 1643. I thought slavery started in 1619. So why in 1643 they started punishing you for harsher runaways? So you mean to tell me they didn't have harsh punishment for people who ran away? No, because there was no law for slavery. Not the way you think. See, they established laws for the runaways, enslaved people, and servants, regulated their movement, identified multiple offenders by branding them or cutting their hair, and provided rewards for their what? Capture. Hold on. What did they do? They brand you. Oh, when you got off the ship, they brand you. You remember they used to show you, they brand you, they put their mark on you? No, they did that to runaways. They cut their hair. Huh? They cut their hair in a certain way to show you that you was a repeated offender. And then they put rewards out on you if they capture you. Because why? A lot of people was running away because of the harsher punishment. In October 1669, now we in the 1669, we still in the colonies. The burgesses admitted that these laws have hitherto in what? Great part provide ineffectual as enslaved people in service continued to brawl numerous dangers to flee, meaning that these laws were ineffective. They fled mostly to where? Maryland, but sometimes as far north to where? New Netherlands and New England. Where's that at? That's up by Canada. In 1705, a sweeping new law allowed enslavers to what? Discipline enslaved people to death or dismemberment, or in some cases to kill runaways without penalty. See, this started coming into where? 1705. But I thought this was already taking place in the 1600s, according to One West doctrine. See, notice they don't teach you these laws. Beginning in 1736, because remember, we're dealing with King James Proclamation line of 1763. Beginning in 1736, masters and enslavers advertised the Virginia Gazette for their runaway service and enslaved people. They described more than 3,500 fugitives from 1736 until 1783. These advertisements affirm a lingering desire for freedom on part of enslaved people. Who are these enslaved people? Who? Where did these enslaved people come from? Let's look up Tralden. Tralden is Tralldon. THRALL Tralden. What does this mean? What does Tralden mean? Do anybody know what Tralden means? Because we got to realize, where do these slaves come from? Where do these slaves come from? Let's see what we get. Let me share my screen. Tralden. Okay. Let me go right here real quick. Brother, you say I've been watching Lil Moray. I like Lil Moray videos. But show me where Lil Moray talked about Tralden. That's what you need to do. Give me the video that Lil Moray was talking about Tralden. Okay? That's what you need to do. Know what this thing is doing. Oh, now you want to act up. Going to close you out. I'll come back to you. You need to show me where a little more Ray talked about the word. Let me go with this one right here. All right. Trollden. We going to the word Trollden. I'm back. I had a little difficulties. Still dealing with that internet issue being down. That's why we had started late. But all praises. So we're gonna go to Trollden. Because these folks been Trollden for a long time. Trollden is just another word for indentured servant. Just another word for indentured servant. That's all it is. It's just see, they come and throw words in front of you, but we don't get down behind the words to find out who these words fit. We just simply listen to the words of what somebody just tell us, and we just go right along with it. See, these folks already had indentured service with them. The Slav, the Europeans. They already had these people with them. Servants, see? Servants, indentured service. Look at that. Look at the picture. Already taking these people as slaves. Way before that stuff even came over here. They were already trolled them, meaning slaves. Served. See? They were already, look at that. They were already served to these people. Served them. They were vassals. But see, you take what belongs to them and you place it upon yourself. This is why the Creator hid his face from us. And that's why he says in Deuteronomy 31:15 that we're going to go a-whoring after these other nations round about us. Because a lot of us as Israelites, we don't want to be who we are. We'd rather believe everything that somebody else tell us. Instead of just simply telling and asking our family, like Deuteronomy 32:7 says. Let's read. It says slavery was not new to Europe in the 17th century. It was not new. See, slavery was not new to Europe in the 17th century, which is the 1600s. The Africans sold to the Arabs by their trade. Hunger neighbors were not the first to undergo this experience. So now hold on. If Israel, according to the 70 AD story, supposed to have ran to Africa, you mean to tell me why the Arabs did not take the Israelites over into Arabia, over into Afghanistan, over into Yemen? But if you listen to these One West camps, they'll tell you, oh, yes, they did. We was taken by the Arab slave trade too. Well, show me that in scripture that the Arabs came and took you. Oh, see, we were scattered around the world. The Bible don't even teach that. And I'm going to show you something in a second. Slavery or thraldom was common in the what? Scandinavia of the Vikings age, in the what? Regions such as what? Hybrids, Hebrides, beyond Norse, water settled by their enterprise sons. Many slaves or thralls were either taken from their homeland in battle or on raids, and their offspring inherit their standing in Scandinavia. Hold on. So they were already doing these things. They were already doing these things over there. How in the world the Israelites escaped that until 1619? There was little they could do to change that, because slavery was happening all over there. Slavery was already over there, or thraldom. See, Scandinavians might also find themselves as thralls due to what? Law breaking or debt. So if you broke the law or you end up in debt, you end up a servant. See, a lot of us didn't know why these people went into slavery, why they were bringing those people over there to come over here. The same way like Venezuela is emptying out their jails, Chile is bringing people from down there to your neighborhoods. Why are they doing that? The Bible says there's nothing new under the sun, and you don't even understand. That's what they've been doing all the time over here. They've been bringing foreigners in your neighborhoods, moving you out and bringing them in. Like he say, out with the old and in with the new. See, that thraldom was for a fixed term. You know what a fixed rate is? Something that doesn't change. So when you in debt, you can't go in and change something. It is what it is. In low, a thrall was property like cattle. See, but you tell me that Israel was cattle. They told you that your ancestors came over here like cattle. So your ancestors, according to their law, was dead. They was in debt. But I thought the Israelites was captured because they were looking for them. See, they only treated your people. You couldn't change the thraldom debt. And they treated you like cattle. He or she could be sold, owned, and offered as payment for money owed until what? Christianity reached Scandinavia. A thrall could be flayed, mutilated, or killed without what? Punishment when you owed money. The thrall, the owner or his offspring was. Trawls were taught. Let me pull up my, let me pull it back. Trawls were taught as being less in worth than cattle or other livestock. This was going on in Europe way before the 1600s. Trawls were taught as being less than worth than cattle or other livestock. It was also not illegal for a trawl to be what? Sacrificed. So if something is illegal, that means they have laws that they have to go by. So what laws did they take your people supposedly from Israel, from out of Africa, to bring them to America? What laws were they following? Oh no, see, yeah, we just broke the law. So the white man just went into Africa and got them. And just brought them over here, put them to work, and didn't have no laws that they were following when it came to you. But then when we pull up the laws of Virginia, that kind of break your back a little bit, because you can't explain the laws that they had in Virginia dealing with slavery. Hold on, we just about to heat up in a second. You just give me a minute. Particularly female ones, as an offspring to the gods, or enter with her master of his grave after copulation and subsequent strangulation by his sons or other male followers. So you mean to tell me the word gods means the master? Mean you are in charge? This was a part of their law. You were a god when you were in control of land and property. Tell me the property that you're over now. Huh? Tell me the services you're providing for your people. That's what makes you a god. If you ain't doing none of that, you ain't nothing but a beggar, like everybody else. Tell of this. Anyone who killed a trawl would only have to pay the owner the value of the dead property. Hold on, stop. And that's what they do when a cop kill a so-called Negro. They pay you money. So they're telling you that you're property, and I'm going to prove you're property. That's why they don't go to jail. This law always been on the books in Europe, and they just brought this law over here to you. They will only have to pay the owner the value of the dead property. Similarly, owners had to pay compensation for crimes committed by their trawls. So in other words, if a servant committed a crime, it was the owner's responsibility to pay. And that's the reason why they put them harsh penalties in place, that you can kill them, you can mutilate them, you can do anything to them, because they became your property. They became your property. Huh? Let me read this last paragraph. Trawls were known to have undertake the same kind of work given to the what? Freeborn. Huh? And the Bible talks about the freeborn, the freeman. See, they undertake the same kind of work that was given to the freeborn, the one who was not born under those rules. But he took on the same type of employment. Craftsmen, artisans, but their good work could be claimed as that of a co-worker. See? Nor were trawls or servants, indentured servants, treated well in what? Transition. St. Agatha saw them chained together our necks feathered at what? Herderby in the 9th century. Skilled and loyal thralls or indentured servants sometimes live well, however, enjoy the respect of their master's household and could work towards their own freedom. And that's what you're talking about. You got house Negroes and field Negroes. They gave you their story. They put everything that was happening to them on you. Huh? They put it on you. They put it on you, family. And you still didn't get it. Following the AD 1000 introduction to Iceland of Christianity as a state religion, steps were taken to change the statutes with regards to indentured servants. See, Christianity came in and changed a lot of stuff because it was a state, meaning it was a state laws. Christianity is not a religion, it's a system. Christianity is an empire. It's not a religion. Religion is attached to it, but it's really an empire. It was against the law to kill a servant during Lent. For an example, in other words, if you got a holiday going on, it was against the law to kill them during that law. For an example, the church argued the freeing of indentured servants in pursuit of what? Piety. But it never went as far as to condemn the trade out of hand. Slavery finally died out in Scandinavia between the 12th and the 14th centuries, which is that's not true. Sweden being the last state to widely adopt what? Christianity. The reason why I died because they now are sitting under a new system, which is called Christianity. That's why they brought Christianity over here to you, which is the 1603, not the 1603, I think it's 1603, 1608, something like that. 1606, Charter 1606, the propagation of Christian religion. They brought that over here to you. And that's why it says Scandinavia between the 12th and 14th century, Sweden being the last state to widely adopt Christianity. Some of the missionaries disappeared in Sweden shores, possibly taken as what? Servants and sold farther where? East. You got Christianity coming in now. That's a Trojan. A Trojan is nothing but a what? An indentured servant. That's all a Trojan is. It's an indentured servant. See, that's an indentured servant. Okay? Let's look up the synonym for what? Citizen. What is the synonym for citizen? Let's look up the synonym. Not the definition, but the synonym. Let's look at the definition for the synonym for citizen. Let's look that up real quick. I'm going to share my screen. Because they took everything from you. And they place you under titles. They place you under labels. They place you under everything else except the actual title you're born with that was given to you by your elders. They took everything from you. Citizen. Citizen. I want you to see where my point is at. I want you to look right here at the bottom. I'm gonna read it where it says similar. Okay. A citizen is a legal recognized subject or national of a state or commonwealth, either native or naturalized. Now, I want you to pay attention to that real closely Because when you say that you're the citizen of America, I mean the United States, not America, but a citizen of the United States, you are legally recognized. You are a legal recognized subject. And you can look at similar right here. Subject. What is a subject? What is a subject? See, what is a subject? This is what we have to pay attention to. Because Paul said he was a citizen of Rome. Meaning, that's the New Testament. He became a subject. What is a subject? A subject. Now, the first thing we'll say, well, that's like in school. Subject is a what? Is a person or thing that is being what? Discussed, described, or dealt with. See? A subject. You became a subject or a national of a state or commonwealth, either native or naturalized. So what is a citizen? A citizen is a subject, meaning when you become a subject, you become someone's servant. You're a subject under me. Meaning you became, if you are a subject under me, you are my indentured thraldom or indentured servant. National. Native. So when you hear them people talking about they Native Americans, they are citizens. Native just means citizen. What is another word for citizen? A taxpayer. A taxpayer. Meaning you pay taxes, you pay tribute. Because you are a subject under that particular jurisdiction. They control you. They own you. So you become subject to their laws. What is another word for citizen? A voter. See? A voter. That's another word for citizen. You become a voter. So when you heard those people last week, and when you heard the brother talk about they are monster dummies because they don't know how the budget even work. See, this is the problem. Because they are voters. And a voter don't mean that you are sitting here. You're sitting here pulling the lever. No. You are a voter by who they put in front of you. Oh, that's a black man. I'm going to vote for that black man because he's black. He look like me. I know he going to look out for me. You a voter. You subject to the system or the people that they put in front of you. And now these people that they put in front of you ain't doing the bidding for you. They not doing no bidding for you. And now you're mad. The scripture's already telling you in Deuteronomy 28:49 that they're going to come speaking a language that you don't even know. And if you keep reading, it says that they're not going to have no consideration for the what? The young nor the old. Meaning they don't care nothing about your people. But they bring you under subject to them. Because you know why? It's because you refuse to accept who your people say they are. And now you become a subject or a national or a native. A taxpayer or a voter. If you keep going into that, you will see that it's even talking about you, what you carrying a what? A passport. That's what a citizen does. They carry a passport. Because you are subject under that jurisdiction. When it says if you go to Deuteronomy 28:52, it says that Japhet is going to cut you off in all your gates. So they got you where's that they got us where's that we can't even travel without even having some type of ID from them. Unless you know how to make your own and you know how to come from under that jurisdiction. You become their subject. You become their taxpayer. They just throw people in front of you, and like the brother say, you don't even know your own local politics, but they got you stuck on a federal politic. Anything that's going to happen federal has to happen local first. And that's why Deuteronomy, I think 17:15, it tells you that you're supposed to know the people that you're voting for. You're supposed to know that these people were put up there by the Creator. You don't just supposed to just vote for anybody. You don't supposed to vote for nobody, even if unless they're your brother. And brother don't mean skin tone. It means that you know this brother was raised from the fabric of your people. That this person followed Torah. But we just putting anybody, we just allowing anybody to lead us. And you become subject to that foolishness. A lot of us, it's like we don't even care. 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 The brother right here said, does that mean that all Africans are Hamites? The Igbo tribe, the Lebanese, and the Ghanaians are not Hebrews? Hebrew don't mean an Israelite, brother. Hebrew don't mean an Israelite. Okay? Ham is Ham. Shem is Shem. Okay? The Moabites are Hebrews. That was Abraham's nephew. The Amorites are Hebrews. That was Abraham's nephew. Both of them came from Lot. Esau are Hebrews. The world. Esau are Hebrews. Esau are Hebrews. Okay? They came from Jacob. They came from Jacob. All right? But being a Hebrew doesn't make you Israel. That's different. Yeah. Yeah, they're not Israelites. No. They could be Hebrews. But no, that don't make them Israelites. No. Because we about to get in. Let's get into it. Okay. Let me see if I got it up. Let's pull up the Jewish Indian. Let's pull up the Jewish Indian theory. Let's pull that up. Let me put that in the chat. Let's pull up the Jewish Indian theory. Let me see if I got that up so I can share my screen. Yeah, just because you're a Hebrew doesn't make you an Israelite. And that's where a lot of us go wrong at. Let's pull up the Jewish Indian theory. Let's see who these people are. Let me share my screen. See who these people are. The Jewish Indian theory. And see, when you're looking up any of this, they're gonna give you hijacks. They're gonna give you hijack. They're gonna give you hijack words. You got to read through the hijack. You got to dodge the hijack. Who are the Israelites? Where are the Israelites? The Jewish Indian theory. They're gonna give you all kind of stuff to pay attention to. But let's look at it. The Jewish Indian theory. Jewish Indian theory, or Hebraic Indian theory, or Jewish Armenian theory is the erroneous idea. Let me repeat that again. Is the erroneous idea that some or all of the lost tribes of Israel had traveled to America, and that all or some of the indigenous people of the Americas are of the Israelite descendant or were influenced by still lost Jewish. Now, notice what they're saying. You got to dodge the hijack of what they're saying. Because if we scroll down, I want to show you something. It says the lecture, the Jewish Indian theory, the problem or the origin of. Then if you keep going down, watch this. Watch this. The Native American and Jews, the lost tribe episode, Jewish Indian theory. That's Wiccanon. When Native Americans were the lost tribe of Israel. See, they keep giving you the Indian, the Aboriginal, the indigenous, telling you who they are. See, they keep telling you who these people are. They telling you about the Indian of the Americas. But see, the question is, we look at the simple words, the lost tribe. They never were lost. Israel was never lost. Israel was never lost. The only reason why Israel, they say the lost tribe, is because they hid you through definition. They hid you through books and writings, and they hid you through theory and idea. So when they hid you, that means they can now get someone to come and take your place. Because remember, you're lost. So who found, if Israel's lost, who found them? Who found them? Because one was telling you that you came from Africa. You came from overseas, from the Scandinavian. You were the slaves that was on the ship. But it's funny that they don't teach you and tell you about the ones that they call Esau, which is, in fact, that's not Esau, but they tell you that that's Esau. They don't tell you about their slavery coming over here. Nah. The first thing they'll tell you is, oh, you going against the scriptures. Am I? Am I? Am I really going against the scriptures? Because when I know of the history of Israel, this is what I get. I get America black or more. This is what I get. I get America black or more. Let's grab this real quick. Y'all could Google America black or more. America black or more. Huh? America black or more. You see what they pulling up? Let me go to images. America black or more. Look what they pulling up. Look what they pulling up. America black or more. They pulling up these people with feathers in their head. Now I'm about to drop a bombshell on you in a minute. They're giving you the feathers. Why is they giving me the feathers? Huh? Why are they giving me the feathers? Why are they giving me the one with the feathers? Black or more. And they just giving me the feathers. Hold on, let me come from out of this. Let me come back out of this real quick, and I got to share my page again. Let me stop sharing and let me go back in. Why are they giving me the feathers? So it's America black or more? Is that the Indian of the Americas? So is this Israel? Is this Israel? Did Israel wear the feathers? Did Israel wear the feathers? Huh? Was Israel feathers is crowned? Was the feathers on Israel's head is crowned? Just pulling up some pictures. Do we really want to have this discussion? Was the feathers on Israel's head its crown? Did Israel wear feathers? Hmm? Did the Aboriginal people, who are the real true Israelites, some of them, wore feathers? Blackamoor. Blackamoor. Did Israel really wear the feathers? Blackamoor. Feathers. Who are the feather man? They say the feather serpent. Who is he? Is that the Israelite? Or is that someone else? Who is that man that has the headband with feathers on it? You believe he came from Africa? Do the Bible teaches that? That the man who wore the feathers on his head came from Africa? Do the Bible testify that? Because it says David had on a headdress. Some of you call it a mitre. And he had a it calls some of the scriptures call it as a diadem with a jewel in the middle of it. The Levites had on a headdress. And some of the Israelites had on a headdress. Was the headdress feathers? Or that was just people going around, whoa, 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 whoa. Look what they had over. Look what they had. Because remember, this same statue was on the pack of tobacco. The same statue. Let me blow it up. The headdress. The headdress. Let me come out of this. Who was that man that wore the feathers? Who was he? Was he that wild? Was he that man that be dancing? What you see on these reservations, walking around, woo, 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 oh, yo, 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 oh, yo, yo. That's us. Yeah, blackamoor wasn't your blackmoor simply means a man. I'm gonna get into that in a second. Moors just simply means someone that is dark skinned. You had the dark skinned man is indigenous across the earth. You had two different types of Moors. That's the Moabites. Then you had the Moors, the blackamoors, who were indigenous to America. Okay? Let me show it to you real quick. Let's talk about Eber. Who is Eber? Who is Eber? We read about Eber in the Bible. Let's pull that scripture up real quick. I'll share my screen. Let's talk about Eber in the scriptures. Let's go to Genesis 10 and 25. Who were Eber? Who was Eber? Genesis 10 and 25. Share my screen. Who is Eber? And it says, and unto Eber were born 2 sons. The name of one was Peleg. For his days was the earth divided, and his brother name was what? Joktan. So hold on. We're talking about Eber. We're talking about Eber. Look up this right here. This is Bible Hub. Let me pull it up. Eber. Who is the man? With the feathers on his head. Talking about Eber. We ain't talking about no one else. No, not. Give me a second, because it's trying to act up. Go. 84. Right here, you can see it for yourself. Eber. He shall cover thee with his what? Feathers. And under his wings, his peons will cover and under. See? Eber was the one that had the feathers on his head. Hebrew word study, feathers. Ebra. It is interesting that the word Ibra for feathers come from the Semitic root word Eber, which means the feather of a dove. However, it is the root of the what? The Akkadian. Where's the Akkadian at? It's not in Europe. The Akkadians. Akkad. Eber. Eber. So, family, you're dealing with a feather covering. Psalms 91 and 4. He will cover you with his what? Pinions. He shall cover or kakak or sakak, to what? Intertwine as a screen, by implication to fence in, cover over. See? So when you're talking about Eber, you're talking about the word pinions, which means feathers. Hmm? Genesis 11 and 15. And after he had become the father of Eber, Selah. See? You're talking about a headdress. You say, oh man, that ain't nothing. Those just the Hebrew words. We don't go by the Hebrew. I know this hurt. I know it hurt. Eber means, Ibra means headdress. It comes from the word Eber. It means feathers. So Eber wore feathers in his head. The dove. Talking about the American Indian. Okay. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Here's another one. Yeah, I know. We had a power outage, and we had a power outage over here in the internet. After the internet would just be slagging, man. So forgive me on the internet, the internet for tonight. Yeah, so forgive me, my family. So I'm trying to get it in. Let's get to the next one. All right, let's get the next one. Because we have to pay attention to, and Eber is the progenitor. He is the progenitor of the Israelites. And that's true. He wore the feathers on his head. Eber. Just kind of cranking it up real quick. He wore the feathers on his head. So now here's the next point. You had Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin. Talk about the Great Seal. They talk about the Great Seal. So let's get into that. I'm going to share my screen on this one. Let's get into this one. The Great Seal. All right. We're going to talk about the Great Seal. Let me see if this is it. Let me see what this is. All right, deal with this one right here. We're talking about the Great Seal. Let me give you the images first. What is this I'm looking at? Let me share my screen. What is this I'm looking at? And this is on a seal. Benjamin Franklin. What is this I'm looking at? I'm blowing it up to let you see it. Let you see it for yourself, and then I'm gonna shrink it. This is the U.S. Great Seal. What is this I'm looking at? And this is on your Great Seal, the U.S. Great Seal. You can type this in yourself. The U.S. Great Seal represents Moses. Type that in. And then go to images and pull this up. You'll see it. Why did they put this on the Great Seal? The Exodus of America. The Exodus of the Israelites. Why did they put that on the back of the Great Seal? They showing you Ramsey on his chariot. He ain't in the water. He ain't about to be drowned by the water. This is on their stuff. The Great Seal. What are we missing? See right there? Look at that. The Great Seal. What are we missing? See, they'll put hijacks in front of you. What are we missing? What are we missing? Then they come and throw that right there. See, look at that. Look at that right there. Look at that right there. Look at the Great Seal. See? The Great Seal. Who came up with this seal? Look at this. Who came up with this seal? Who came up with that? See, they throw all this other stuff in front of you because they don't want you to see it. Hold on. Let me come out of that. Let me come out of that. Who came up with that? Let me share my next page. Who came up with that? Look at that right there. Who came up with that? Who came up with this seal? See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Who came up with the seal? They put it right in front of your face. They telling you that America is the old world. This is where Israel is. They've been telling you this for a long time, but you've been listening to them Freemasons telling you, and them Divine Nine telling you that you came from Africa. They got you. They even tell you, they even know what the scriptures tell you to go ask your mother and your father. I mean, your father and the elders, and they'll show you and tell thee, but you don't do that. Nah, you don't do that. Nah, you don't do that, family. You go to them outside people and they tell you where you come from. but instead, they put the truth right in front of you. Who created the Great Seal with Exodus on it? Benjamin Franklin. 1776, Benjamin Franklin proposed for an American Great Seal as the image of Moses reaching out over the Red Sea. Why would he do that in America? Why would he put the Great Seal? Why would he propose that for America? Overwhelming Pharaoh sitting in a chariot with rays from a pillar of fire in the cloud with the statement, rebellion of tyrants is obedience to God. The Great Seal. This is on the other side of it. See? But they don't teach you that. Nah, they ain't gonna teach you that. Because they want you off your land. Genesis 9:27. Japheth shall enlarge themselves in the tents of Shem. And the Canaanites is going to be his indentured servants, not yours. Mm-mm. They ain't gonna be your indentured servants because see, you're supposed to have killed them, but you let them live. So now they're going to be a prick in your eyes and a thorn in your side, meaning that they're going to cause confusion and heartache in the midst of you. You're not going to never have no rest with them because they're going to always be in the midst of you. Huh? They're going to be in the midst of you, family. See? Because what did Benjamin Franklin do? He made this image. He proposed this image as one of the flip sides of the Great Seal. See? Because who was he dealing with? He knew who he was dealing with. Let me share my next screen. He already knew who he was dealing with. Let's get it. He already knew who he was dealing with. He already knew this. He already knew who he was dealing with. But see, the problem is you don't believe it. You don't believe it. You don't believe it. So let's get this book right here. You can pull this up for yourself. This book right here. It's the Benjamin Franklin book. It's called Observing Concerning the Increase of Mankind, People of Countries. Let me let it come through. It's called Observing Concerning the Increase of Mankind, People of Countries. Okay? There you go right there. See? That's the book right there. You can pull this up. You can pull this book right here up. Observations Concerning the Increase of Mankind, People of Countries. This is by Benjamin Franklin. This is by Benjamin Franklin. Okay? And we're going to scroll all the way down to the last page. And let's see what Benjamin Franklin say. We're going to the very last page. Okay? This is what we're doing. We're going to go all the way down to the last page. And let's see what Benjamin Franklin talk about. Let's see who these people he's talking about. Let me grab it real quick. Just give me a second. Okay, here we go right here. I'm going to start right here at the top. I'm start right here. And this is what it says here. It says, and since detachments of English from Britain since to the Americas will have their places at home so soon supplied and increase so largely here. Why should the Palatine Boers be suffered to swarm into our settlements and by herding together establish their languages and manners to the exclusion of ours? Why should Pennsylvania, founded by the English, become a colony of our liu who will shortly be what? So numerous as to Germanize us instead of our what? Of our anglifying them, and will never adopt our language or customs any more than they can what? Acquire our complexion. Ooh, so he's saying that these people can't become them. So he's telling you straight up he's different. But let's keep going. Which led me to add one remark, that the number of what? Purely white people in the world is proportionally very small. This is Benjamin Franklin. He said pure white people is small. This is what he said. All Africans is what? Black or Twani or Swathi. Asians is chiefly what? Swathi. American exclusive of the what? New corners. Wholly so. So he's telling you that Americans is straight niggas. And in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, and Swedes are generally what we call a swarthy complexion. So he said all those folks are black. That's what I was trying to tell you earlier. Melanated people are the indigenous people on the earth. Caucasians are what we call the pale man. What did he say? The number of purely white people in the world is proportionally very small. They're not a large group family. So even when you look at in Europe, Spain, Italy, French, Russia, Sweden, those are swarthy areas, meaning those people are niggas or black. As are the Germans, also the Saxons, only expected, who with the English make the principal body of what? White people. Huh? This Benjamin Franklin on the face of the whole of the earth. So who is the white man? Who is the white man according to Benjamin Franklin? As are the Germans also, the Saxons, only accepted, who with the English make the principal body of the white people on the face of the earth. Now you'll say that, oh, that's the Caucasian. No, white just simply means status. So family, let me get into something real quick. American man is black. He's telling you this. So I'm going to ask a question, family. Let me ask the question real quick. Let me close this out. Let me close this out. I'm just closing out certain things. We about to we don't went through that. No, we ain't went through that yet. Not that. Not that. No, not that. Nope, not that. Okay, here we go. So, family, let's get into this. If he's telling you let's grab this. If he's telling you that the American Negro were dark skinned, how do we get this right here, family? Just give me 1 second. How do we get this? Here we go. Let me share my screen. Fair use, fair use. Fair use, fair use. How do we get this right here, family? I just showed you the Greeks and the Romans were swarthy people, family. Benjamin Franklin said that. You have to down debunk Benjamin Franklin. He said that the swarthy people, he said the Romans were swarthy people. The Greeks were swarthy. He said white folks were just a small portion on the earth. And he told you where they came from. Because he was one of them. So let's get into it. Fair use, family. If Israel were the feather people, they wore the feathers on their head. Those were the American Moroccan. Now, we're not talking about all Indians of America were Israelites. No, that'd be foolish. That's asinine. But some of the Israelites, some of the Indians of America were the Israelites. And they made up the actual 12 sons of Jacob. And that's why we discovered that Eber wore feathers on his head. Okay? And if America was a so-called Negro continent, how do we get this right here, family? Let's go. Fair use under the 1976.
The following is another.
And we don't take, this is not our product. We using this for teaching purposes, educational purposes to build our people. So let's get it to it. 1976 Act.
For example of the double-mindedness of the Hebrew Israelite sect Sakari. The clips you're about to see show Sakari attempting to, quote-unquote, keep the Passover in a nightclub.
Out here with my brother.
Family, how do we get that? How do we get this? And I know we'll say, well, so-called Negro, they make all complexions. Benjamin Franklin didn't tell you that. He tell you that he tell you that everybody was swarthy. How do we get this? Let's go.
Super fly. Try out here. Hey man, your boy went and did it to him, huh?
Why are you at a club with Passover? Why? Why are you at a club with a Passover? Let's go. Let's
y'all
go.
Single. Y'all can have some too.
Yeah, y'all single, right?
Y'all single?
Y'all single? I'll be in
They're asking them, are they single? Let's hear it again. This is what happens when you follow foreigners. This is what happened in Chicago. They follow foreigners, and these foreigners taking all their money, and when you follow foreigners, they're going to lead you straight to the pit. Let's go.
Y'all single. Y'all can have some too.
Yeah, y'all single, right?
Y'all single?
Y'all single? I'll be in
Notice they're doing what they're doing. They asking these sisters, are they single? Why are you asking these sisters, are they single? Let's go. Let's keep going.
I got it. Rob. Let's get it.
Here is a response from the leader of Sakari, Alazar Van Loya, who attempts to make excuses for the clips just seen.
You know, we had the Passover last night. Malvin, how about you smash over the water for water? Akim are going to be a lot. Some Akim are keeping their Pesach today. People are keeping it on different days. That's all fine and dandy. As long as the righteous acts are being rehearsed, we praise the Most High. It's been brought to my attention and to my deacon's attention. You know, a lot of people was mad last night, guys. A lot of people was mad they didn't get to be at our Passover last night. And then the hate started. Then the
Why is that? Why would I be mad? Let's go.
hate came. Said, wait, there's hate? Niggas is mad? Mad for real? How much fun we had? Here's the crazy thing, right? You know, they talk about the Passover being a solemn assembly, which it was, right? Baron, Julia, how about you smash over with water? We had a solemn assembly, and then we closed the solemn assembly, and then we had fun, right? I mean, if somebody has a problem with that, they have a problem with the Bible.
So he said it had a solemn assembly. They closed it. Then they went to have fun. I want y'all to hear this, brother. Now look at him. Israel was swarthy. Israel was a Negro. That's what Benjamin Franklin say. So if Israel was a Negro, then how do you get this? That's admixture. Now I don't care if y'all tell him I say that. That's admixture. According to Benjamin Franklin, this is admixture. I don't care how much law you know. Why you don't know that law? But let's keep going. Let's keep going. We gonna cook in a second. Let's go.
We'll read about something. I want you to get from me, Deacon, 2 Chronicles 30.
2 Chronicles chapter 30, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And Hezekiah sent to all Israel and Judah.
Uh-huh.
And
he said to all Israel and Judah. This is King Hezekiah, right? King Hezekiah is ruling over only Judah. These kingdoms are split at this time. But King Hezekiah ventured out of his way to invite his brothers of the kingdom of Israel, even though we were functioning as bitter enemies, even though the northern kingdom didn't care about worshiping the Most High anymore by and large, yet and still, King Hezekiah still ventured to invite the northern kingdom to this feast. Right, read on.
And wrote letters also to Ephraim and Manasseh.
It said what?
And wrote letters also to Ephraim and
He was
Manasseh
trying to get all the tribes, man, to come and celebrate the Pesach. Read on.
that they should come to the house of the Lord at Jerusalem to keep the Passover unto the Lord God of Israel. For the king had taken counsel and his princes and all the congregations in Jerusalem to keep the Passover in the 2nd month. But they could not keep it at the time because the priests had not sanctified themselves sufficiently. Neither had the people gathered themselves together to Jerusalem. And the thing pleased the king and all the congregation. So they established a decree to make a proclamation throughout all Israel, from Beersheba even to Dan, that they should come to keep the Passover unto the Lord God of Israel at Jerusalem, for they had not done it and not done of it a long time in such sort as it is written.
So they had
like me and my way.
They weren't keeping the Passover right, and they had to get right. They had to get themselves together, right? Read on.
So the post went with the letters from the king and his princes throughout all Israel and Judah, and according to the commandment of the king, saying, Ye children of Israel, turn again unto the Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, and he will return the remnant of you that are escaped out of the hand of the king of Assyria.
Because there was still a remnant of the northern kingdom.
Verse 7, and be not ye like your fathers, and like your brethren, which trespass against the Lord God of their fathers, who therefore gave them up to desolation, as ye see. Now be ye not stiff-necked as your fathers were, but yield yourselves unto the Lord and enter into his sanctuary, which he has sanctified forever, and serve the Lord. Enter into his sanctuary. This is proving that the congregation, sanctuary, or temple, forever, and serve the Lord your God, that the fierceness of his wrath may turn away from you. Verse 9, for if ye turn again unto the Lord, your brethren and your children shall find compassion before them and lead them captive, so that they shall come again into this land. For the Lord your God is gracious and merciful, and will not turn away his face from you if you will return unto him. So the post passed from city to city.
So when it said the post passed, meaning he had it essentially like posters printed up, and he had his men go throughout all the cities in Israel and put these posters up. Like an advertisement. He was advertising the fact everybody needs to come, and we need to do what the Most High commanded. We need to add this Passover and do it right. Right? Read on.
Verse 10. So the post passed from city to city through the country of Ephraim and Manasseh, even unto Zebulun, but they laughed them to scorn and mocked them.
The majority of Northern Kingdom, they want to come back and serve the Most High, so they laughed them to scorn and mocked them. Right? They wanted to keep into idolatry. Right? Read.
Nevertheless, divers of Asher.
Diverse, meaning you had brothers from the tribe of Asher, read.
And Manasseh.
Brothers from the tribe of Manasseh, read.
And of Zebulun. Humbled themselves.
Some bucked up against the command of the Lord, right, at the decree of King Hezekiah, and some humbled themselves. Right, read.
And came to Jerusalem. Also in Judah, the hand of God was to give them one heart to do the commandment of the king and of the princes by the word of the Lord.
So all the southern kingdom and the remnant of the northern kingdom collectively came together to do this Passover. Right? Read.
And there assembled at Jerusalem much people to keep the feast of unleavened bread in the 2nd month, a very great congregation. And they arose and took away the altars that were in Jerusalem, and all the altars for incense took they away and cast them into the brook Kidron.
So they did away with their idolatrous altars, right? Read on.
Then they killed the Passover on the 14th day of the 2nd month, and the priests of Levites were ashamed and sanctified themselves and brought in the burnt offerings into the house of the Lord. And they stood in their place after their manner, according to the law of Moses, the man of God. The priests sprinkled the blood which they received of the hand of the Levites. For there were many in the congregation that were not sanctified. Therefore, the Levites had the charge of the killing of the Passover for everyone that was not clean, to sanctify them unto the Lord.
So they just gave the Passover essentially to the Levites, and we just dealt with it, right? Read.
For a multitude of the people, even many of Ephraim and
many northern kingdom, right? Read.
And Manasseh.
Deshaun, Yahbashim Yahshua Barakatah, walk the water. Go ahead.
Issachar and Zebulun.
See that? Ephraim, Manasseh, Issachar, and Zebulun.
For a multitude of the people, even many of Ephraim and Manasseh, Issachar, and Zebulun.
Listen, hey, hold on. Now listen, hold on. Right? Read. Keep going, matter of fact, Salakia.
Had not cleansed themselves. Yet did they eat.
They hadn't gone through the proper sanctification, but Hezekiah said, man, come on down and eat this Passover. It's the fact that y'all ain't came here, right? So read that again.
Con, for a multitude of the people, even many of Ephraim.
We had many of Ephraim last night. Yes, we did. Read.
And Manasseh.
Many. Well, yeah, we had a couple Manasseh, not many. All right, read.
And Zebulun.
Many Zebulun.
Issachar,
many Issachar. Right, read.
And Zebulun.
Many Zebulun. Last night they mad. We just trying to do it like Hezekiah. Keep reading.
Have not cleansed themselves, yet they did eat the Passover. Otherwise, then it was.
He's talking about that line chart. Let's go.
The good Lord pardon everyone.
So he prayed, and as the king, he made that intercession for the whole nation. Just please, just I know everybody ain't had it all together. Just pardon everybody. Damn it, we're trying, right? Lord, please go ahead.
So it said the king prayed that the Lord.
So showing you that they now just because we get to a grand finale point with this chapter, but as you can see, it was not done to perfection, right? It wasn't done every detail correctly, right? But it was a wholehearted effort made by the 12 tribes, right? Read.
Con. And it says, the Lord God pardon everyone that prepareth his heart to seek God.
That's because that's what this is really about.
He's trying to justify being in the club, watching women shake.
They're in Jerusalem,
walking around half naked. Let's go.
They just prepared their heart to seek the Most High and do what He commanded. Right? Read.
The Lord God of his fathers, though He be not cleansed according to the purification of the sanctuary.
Exactly. Even though they wasn't adequately sanctified to come and bring
Let's go.
Sacrifice, right? To come into the sanctuary of the Most High, even though they weren't. Right, read.
And the Lord hearkened to Hezekiah and healed the people.
And guess what? And the Most High heard his prayer, and He accepted that all those. We came on the second month, and everybody wasn't sanctified, but the Most High still was with us. He still accepted that because of that wholehearted effort. So that's the same thing when people say, "Well, y'all got to go to Jerusalem." Y'all got to do. Listen, when we get together, a lot of us. You know, it's what, 12.5 of us that live in Atlanta. The majority of y'all brothers came from all over. This is that rehearsal. He saw what everybody did. He saw the effort everybody made. You see what I'm saying? The same.
Say, well, we can't get to Jerusalem, so we'll get a strip club. Let's keep going.
Wait, even though they came to Jerusalem as Hezekiah, they didn't do everything exactly right, but he saw the effort. And the Most High had honor upon that effort because everybody here had prepared their heart to seek the Most High. Right? Go ahead.
And it's the problem with post-exilic, trying to keep the law after post-exilic.
Exactly. After we got that Babylon exit, everything got messed up. So Most High is judging, like I said, He tries the reins of your heart. So He's judging everybody based upon our sincere dedication to Him. See what I'm saying?
No, He's judging you according to the law. That's what He's judging you for, not your dedication to Him. Because if you are dedicated to Him, you will follow the law. Let's go. We wrapping up the video. Let's go.
Go ahead.
And the children of Israel that were present at Jerusalem kept the feast of unleavened bread 7 days with great gladness.
With what?
With great
gladness. Gabar and Michael, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakathon, walk the water. So with great gladness. So guess what? We had great gladness. When we came together, these 12 tribes came together at our Pesach that we was honored to serve, to have. And guess what? It was with great gladness, right? And niggas is mad because they aren't having great gladness. Because they're in the wrong spirit. I understand. I get it, right? If you wanted to come, you could have just came, brother. People that weren't Sakari members came. You know, they just asked, and you know, had people vouch for them, and you know they could show up. But they.
So he's saying that you were mad because they was in a club and you weren't. They were watching the half-naked women and you weren't on Passover. Let's go.
Mad about it. I'm explaining something to y'all, right? Just as Hezekiah prayed, Lord, please forgive. I've been praying for months about this Pesach.
Let's talk. We're going to get into the law in a second. Let's go.
Executed in a way that was going to be pleasing and acceptable to the Most High.
While Sakari has yet to actually prove that they and the people on their 12 tribes chart are Israelites, let's examine the flaw in Eleazar's line of reasoning. Al-Azhar attempted to make a faulty correlation with 2 Chronicles chapter 30 and the debauchery you saw at the start of the video by essentially saying, while it wasn't perfect, it's the intent that counts. The problem with his line of reasoning is that what you saw at the beginning of this video doesn't even remotely mirror the intentions of 2 Chronicles 30 at all. For starters, in 2 Chronicles 30, neither Hezekiah nor the Levites engaged in, nor emulated the wicked practices which had made the people unclean in the first place. Nor did they allow the people to bring their wicked practices to the feast. In fact, Hezekiah sought to overturn the wickedness which had been brought in by his father Ahaz and restore order in the land. Hence 2 Chronicles chapters 29 and 30. This is precisely why the altars which had been erected by Ahaz to the gods of the heathens were destroyed. And more importantly, in 2 Chronicles 30, neither Hezekiah, nor the Levites, nor the people celebrated the feast in the place of assembly of the heathen. And they certainly didn't have scantily clad women there, given the actual Israelites' view of modesty. Hezekiah prayed for the Lord to pardon and heal the people. However, he did not imitate their wicked ways while doing so. Even the Levites were so ashamed of their former uncleanness that they sanctified themselves and the people with the offerings. By contrast, Al-Azhar, who claims to be a Levite, doesn't seem remotely ashamed of the wickedness before him, as he smiles and basks in it.
Let's go.
But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived.
Now we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna close it out. Let's do this right here. We're gonna grab some couple of scriptures. Let's go to Deuteronomy 23. Oh, hate that sound. Deuteronomy 23. We're gonna start at verse 1. And it says, and we went over this last week, but I'm gonna go a little further this week, and we're gonna go ahead on the land our plane. Verse 1 says, and he that is wounded in his stones, or has his privy member cut off, shall not enter the congregation of the Creator. Notice what verse 1 talks about who have their stones wounded. This is talking about when you have a vasectomy. Okay. And a sex change. That is not allowed in the congregation. Question, what is a congregation? It's a gathering, an assembly, a crowd, an organized group, as of a religious order or body of scholars act of. Okay? So in other words, you're supposed to, as a leader, you're supposed to do what? You're supposed to make sure that who you're allowing in your congregation does not have these defects. That's your job. Your job is to protect that group, that organized group. But see, we don't get personal when you're supposed to be personal. You're not getting personal just to be personal. You're getting personal because you want to make sure you stay in line with Torah. Okay? Verse 2 says what? A bastard shall not enter the congregation of the Creator. Even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Creator. That brother's a bastard. He almost looked like an Arab. Why is he your leader? That's a mamzar. A mamzer is not even allowed into the congregation. Not even up to the 10th generation. But you know what, though? That's why I say we follow foreigners. Israel follow foreigners. And they call these people Israelites even though they are not Israelites. Let's go to verse 3. An Amorite or a Moabite shall not enter the congregation of the Creator. Even to their 10th generation shall they not what? Enter the congregation of the Creator. They don't supposed to be there. The Amorites or the Moabites, that's Israelites' cousins. They don't even supposed to be there. So the law says both of Lot's children are not even allowed in Israel's organized group. But the question is, who are the Amorites and who are the Moabites today? Who are they? Who are they? Let's jump down to verse 14. Let's jump down to verse 14. It says, for the Creator, your God, walketh in the midst of thy camp to deliver thee and to give up thy enemies before you. Therefore shall your camp be what? Holy. Your camp is supposed, your camp, your house, your tribe supposed to be holy. That he sees no unclean thing in who? You. And turn away from you. See, your house supposed to be holy. Your tribe's supposed to be holy. Because if it's not, this is the reason why the Creator turned his face away from us. This is the problem. The bastard is a mixed child. That's a mixed child. That's what a mamzer is. That's a mixed child. It's not saying you can't follow the law, because everyone in the end is going to follow law. It's going to follow suit. But the problem is we've been listening to this one West camp when it was saying we go by the father seed. No, it goes by both parents. It's like a farmer. When a farmer has a seed, he places that seed in the ground, and that ground brings forth the seed that was placed in it. So if you have a Negro man and an Asian woman, remember that Asian woman has her own man. That Negro man has his own woman. So why would that Negro man needs to go and be with an Asian woman? That's mixing of the seed. You'll never see a zebra sleep with a stallion unless it was forced to do so. And when it was forced to do so, it's going to produce something else other than itself. It's going to be mixed. Your seed works the same way. The Creator walks among the congregation. And your congregation, your group's supposed to be holy. See, the problem is we let everything in. And now everything rules us. And now we get mad when everything that rules us ignores us. It don't even consider us. And we get mad. but we don't consider the creator. Let's jump down to verse 17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel. So now, if those sisters were Israel, if they were Israelites, why would they be at the Passover or celebrating Passover among brothers that's supposed to be holy? That's my question. See, notice he didn't quote this. He didn't quote this law. He did not quote this law. He just talked about Hezekiah. Verse 17, let me read it again. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. This is specifically. Your women cannot be with multiple men. Your women supposed to be wives, period, not baby mamas, nor have men on the side. And your men cannot be LGBTQ, homo, gay, etc. They cannot be. Not according to this law. Huh? They cannot be. Let's jump to verse 18. Thou shalt not bring the hire of a whore or the price of a dog into the house of the Creator. Thy power for any vow. So when they went to that club, they say that they were celebrating. The Creator told Joshua, wherever you tread your foot, I'm going to give it to you. Why is he going to give it to him? Because the Creator is going to be there. Because he said, if my people who are called by my name is in and on my people. So wherever they go, they're supposed to have the law with them. So why was them sisters there? Because they worked there. And when they booked the place, they hired those sisters. And they broke verse 18. Thou shalt not bring the hire of a whore, or of the price of a dog into the house of the Creator for any vow. For even both these are an abomination to the Creator, your power. Why did they hire or allow hoes that was hired to serve them inside of a gathering that they claim that was supposed to have been solemn, set apart? Why was they allowed in the midst of them? You hired hoes. You hired whores. Notice they didn't go over any of these laws. See, you can't bring a dog, meaning a person of unclean, of a contempt or abasement. Those women were of base degeneracy, and they allowed those people inside of the congregation. They allow those people inside the congregation. And this is who we follow. 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 And we wonder why. We are in the position that we are in. It's because you're This is the reason why we are in the position that we're in. They took your crown. They stole your title. And you're following foreigners that's teaching you to break Torah. He broke Deuteronomy 23. All you gotta do is read it for yourself. It ain't got nothing to do with they wasn't perfect. It don't have nothing to do with your intent. It's about the law. And if you understand law, you have to keep law. Even wore feathers. He was an Indian. He was an American. He was an American Amuru Khan. He was a Nagu. He was a Nagu. But we don't believe that. We believe we come from Africa. And as you think that you come from Africa, they're coming right in to take your stuff. So we thank you for joining us. Brother, Yashaban. I hope I'm not saying your name up, Yashaban. You study law, fam. And you change your name. Make sure you change your name according to your family. You have your family name. All right? You don't go away from your family. You go to your family. It don't make a difference. If you are a Caucasian, Asian, African, Arab, you have your family name. And you lean towards your family. You see what I'm saying? You lean towards your family, but you still can learn law. You still can follow law. And that's what this is about. We serve and create. We serve the Creator. We honor the Creator. And we're trying to get back to our status. We're not trying to stay within somebody else's status. We see that they robbing us. They taking everything from us, even the taxpayers, and bringing people, foreigners over here and giving it to you. This is how we stay true to the game. And that's what Moses told Israel in Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter. It doesn't make a difference for where you're at. We have to be able to serve and allow others to know that we are the ones in the midst of them. We cannot be ashamed. It's about the Creator. So all praises, brother. All praises and shalom, shalom. So we thank you for joining us today. This is Maury Yaakov, ITFTR Network. I know it's pretty late. But we thank you for joining us. And next week on this next Shabbat, we're going to go further into America. Shalom, Brother Trey. Shalom, Brother Trey. We're going further into America. I just showed you some points of America. We're gonna go further into America. So make sure you bring your pens and pens back. All right. But we thank the Creator for you joining us tonight. This is Maury Yaakov, and may your Shabbat that have come in on sunset to sunset. May your Shabbat be peaceful, restful, and relaxful. And on next Shabbat, we'll see you. So until then, shalom, kayuk, selah, peace.